You know, history isn't always something you find in a textbook. Sometimes it's just sitting on a dusty videotape in an abandoned building. And today we're diving into the absolutely bizarre mystery of a lost piece of TV history that honestly was almost forgotten forever.
Now, let's be super clear about this. We're not talking about some grainy home recording someone taped off their TV back in the 80s. No. The source for this confirms it's either the original master tape or a direct first-generation copy. We're talking about the show in its absolute purest form, the highest quality you could possibly get.
And that is the central puzzle, isn't it? I mean, a tape like this, it just wasn't supposed to survive. Its journey is so wild, so improbable, and its discovery was so incredibly lucky that it makes you think about bigger questions, you know? Like, how do we even preserve our own culture?
All right, so to really get why this tape is such a treasure, we gotta go back and remember what was actually on it. See, this wasn't just any old episode of that classic Nickelodeon game show. This was a holiday special that, for decades, pretty much everyone thought was completely lost to time.
Man, if you grew up in this era, this is going to hit you right in the nostalgia bone. This special aired just one time, way back in 1989. It had the legendary Mark Summers, all the slime, all the crazy physical challenges you'd expect, but with a Valentine's Day theme. And here's the kicker. After it aired that one time, poof, it just vanished. No reruns, no VHS tape you could buy. It was just gone.
So, okay, finding an old VHS tape you recorded yourself is cool, for sure. But it's kind of like finding a photocopy of a famous painting. A master tape, though, that's the painting itself. It's the source. It's the show exactly as the producers wanted you to see it, with that pure, clean video straight from the studio. Finding one of these is literally like uncovering buried treasure.
So you're probably asking, okay, if this tape was so important, how in the world did it end up abandoned on a dusty soundstage? Well, its journey is maybe the weirdest part of this whole story. It involves two completely different cities and, frankly, a whole lot of luck.
Okay, check this out. The story starts in 1989. The show gets taped in Philadelphia. But then, somehow, this master tape travels hundreds of miles south to the new Nickelodeon Studios down in Orlando. Fast forward to 2005, that Orlando studio closes down, and the tape just gets left behind. It literally sits there for years until a group of urban explorers stumbles upon it, which finally leads to it being saved and digitized. I mean, what are the odds? It's just incredible, totally improbable chain of events.
And this right here, this is the core puzzle that still drives people crazy. Why was a tape from the Philly production found all the way down in Orlando? I mean, was it sent down for some kind of compilation show? Maybe for an archival reference? Honestly, nobody knows for sure. And that just makes the fact that it survived at all even more baffling.
All right, so the climax of this tape's incredible journey, the moment it went from being a forgotten relic to a real historical artifact, it all went down in one single place, the abandoned Stage 19 at Universal Studios in Orlando.
So who actually found the tape? Well, it was these folks known as urban explorers. And what they do is they go into abandoned places, but not to break stuff, they go to document the history that's been left behind. And let me tell you, in this case, what they found was absolutely incredible.
So, Stage 19. What's kind of wild is that this was the old home of the reboot show Double Dare 2000. So just picture it. You're walking through this huge empty soundstage. It's like a ghost town of old signs and forgotten equipment. And then, tucked away in a corner, you find this small stash of tapes, and right there, among them, is one with a label for a Valentine Special that basically nobody had seen in decades.
And you'd think the story couldn't get any weirder, right? Well, wrong, because the tape itself held another clue, a really strange code on its label that just makes this whole puzzle even deeper.
Okay, so right there on the tape's label was this production code, MD27K. Now, in the television world, these codes are everything. They're basically the social security number for an episode. It's how you track and catalog everything. But this one, this one just doesn't make any sense.
See, the normal production codes for the show, they all follow a really clear, logical system. You can look at them and know what you're dealing with. This one, though, it doesn't fit any known pattern for the show or even for the network. It's a total, complete anomaly. A real head-scratcher.
So what on earth could it mean? Was it part of some forgotten internal catalog system? Maybe a unique code they made just for this one special event? The thing is, we just don't know. The people who would have the answer are long gone. The paper trail is cold. The code is just one more secret this mysterious tape carried with it all these years.
So, at the end of the day, this isn't just a fun story about a goofy, slimy game show. The journey of this one single videotape, it's a perfect example of a much bigger and honestly a much more important cultural thing that's happening.
This tape is a perfect example of something people call lost media. Think about it. For every classic show we can still stream or watch today, there are countless others that have just disappeared. They were taped over, thrown out, or just left to rot in a vault somewhere. This Valentine Special was this close to being one of them.
So why does one tape matter so much? Well, because its existence is basically a small miracle. It is by far the best preserved copy of this special anywhere. It's a physical link back to Nickelodeon's early days in Philly. And it's a huge, huge win for the community of people online who are trying to save these memories. It's a true survivor from a completely different era of television.
Look, the discovery of this tape was pure dumb luck. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many other pieces of our shared history, lost films, forgotten recordings, are just sitting out there right now in someone's attic or in an abandoned studio, just waiting for someone to find them?